Good evening, everyone. It's 5:33. I'm calling to order the General Services, Health, and Environment Committee. Committee members present is Councilmember Powell, Councilmember Zamer, and myself, Jack Flynn. Also present is Councilmember Jeannie Farrell. Today we've got three topics tonight. We're going to discuss Ordinance 1271-26, an ordinance amending Chapter 259 pesticides of the Code of City of Albany in relation to allowing the use of pesticides on city playing fields. Also, Resolution 848126R, Councilmember Robinson, a resolution of the Common Council honoring the life and legacy of Nathaniel Pulliam and renaming a portion of Henry Johnson Boulevard in his honor. And Resolution 858126R by Councilmember Lumpkin, a resolution of the Common Council honoring the lives and legacies of George and Helen Torian and renaming a portion of Tenbrook Place in their honor. We're going to start off with Resolution 848126R by Councilmember Robinson, who's currently not here. I did my research, and this is his second street naming, so he's within the law to do a street naming. I read the resolution, and the family's very honorable of the street naming. Does anybody have any questions about the street naming? Any objections? I mean, he's not here to speak on his behalf, but I'm sure he'll be here later to speak on the resolution themselves. So can I get a motion, favorable recommendation?
Make a motion. Oh,
Go ahead.
okay. I'll make a motion to move Resolution 848126R out of committee with a positive recommendation.
Second.
All those in favor say aye.
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 Any nays? Thank you. We're going to discuss Resolution 858126R by Councilmember Lumpkin, who's also currently not here, renaming a portion of the streets in George and Helen Torian. Again, this is actually on behalf of Councilmember President Kimbrough, because Councilmember Lumpkin has exceeded his amount of streets namings for the city of Albany for this year. So this is on behalf of Councilmember Kimbrough. Also joining us now is Councilmember Johnson. Is there any discussion? Derek, we're discussing on the life and legacy of George and Helen Torian right now. Does anybody object or any comments? Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you, Chair. Guess I say right on time. We talked about Miss Torian, right? Miss Torian was my science teacher, and unlike today, where kids grow up and they see a lot of African Americans leading the classroom, that wasn't the case in 1986. And for her to be at Albany High, it was definitely a pleasure. She had a distinguished voice, and she would call each kid by their last name because she knew a lot of our families. But one of the things that was most intriguing about Miss Torian is that later on I would find out that she had a insurance company that she ran out of her house over on just below Swan Street. So Miss Torian was a pivotal figure in our community. Those that knew her knew that she was outspoken. She spoke up for what she believed in, and it's an honor to be a part of this street renaming on behalf of Miss Torian. I know a lot of her former students are excited. Thank you.
Thank you. I just want to, for the record, it is George and Helen Torian Way. I assume that it was approved by the DGS or by Bill Trudeau to put that long name on the street sign. So can I get a motion?
I make a motion to move it out with a favorable.
Second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any nays? Motion passes. Now we're going to discuss Ordinance 127126 by Councilmember Powell in relation to pesticides. Sponsor, Councilmember Powell, would you like to say a few words first before the Deputy Commissioner speaks?
Sure. So, this is an ordinance to allow the city of Albany to safely apply pesticides to city fields and the golf course. There's a variety of reasons that impact the safety of the people that play on the golf course and city fields. And also, we've been sort of working with Frank Zioli from the Department of General Services on this legislation. So I will turn it over to Frank to explain more about why this is important for our city.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Are we on? Is this on? Can you hear me? Is it? Okay.
I think so. Can you hear me? Yeah. Can you hear me?
Okay. So as long as you can hear me, I've got a pretty loud voice, but I know it's got to pick up. So, so this originated kind of with DGS. DGS really isn't responsible for a lot of these fields. But what had happened was the fields are inside of parks that DGS maintains. So I've gotten numerous calls through the years from different playing organizations, little leagues, soccer fields, soccer leagues, things of that nature, where their league regulations, Cal Ripken, PGA, and others, have said that there shouldn't be crabgrass and we should be maintaining the fields in a certain way of which pesticides are placed. Now, we have always done, again, safely put pesticides down at the golf course, or else you wouldn't have the golf course looking the way that it does. And that's always gone through the pesticide committee, and we've always done it. But these other fields, it's become a thing where the groups that I mentioned might be thinking of doing it themselves without any oversight by the city. And sometimes that might happen. So what we're trying to do is just make this done safely. The City of Albany, the Department of General Services is willing to take on this task to make sure that when it is done, it is documented, it is done right, it follows all the laws that are set out by the New York State, and DEC, and EPA. Where I can't say that if it's being done now that that's happening, because it's being done by these different non-for-profit volunteer organizations, and we don't know. So this is a safe way to making sure that nobody gets hurt, making sure that nothing happens, and the right stuff gets put down. So that's what this is. By exempting it, it makes it so that, again, the city can do it and manage it properly the way it needs to be managed.
Thank you. Just a quick question on my behalf. I assume you have talked to the presidents of Western Hills, National Little Leagues, American Little League.
Yes.
And they're all on board with this
Yes,
legislation.
Yes, they are.
Thank you. Councilmember Zamer?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Deputy Commissioner, for being here. I just wanted to add that when we started talking about this last year, I also personally reached out to Little Leagues and spoke to leadership, and everybody was in agreement that this is the most efficient, effective way to help maintain these fields where kids are getting various skin rashes from certain plants and other issues on the fields that make it unsafe for them. So I just wanted to thank Councilmember Powell for introducing this and DGS for its support in making this happen safely.
For the record, Councilmember Brody's here also. Do any non-committee members have any questions? Okay, thank you all. I just want to say, Frank, I want to thank you for this because you and I dealt with this probably over a year ago.
Oh, yeah.
And,
Yeah.
Dealing with all the rules, the regulations, what did this parks right? And I think we originally had a version, but we had to change it just for whatever reason.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I'm glad that we were
That's what
able
happens
to.
with any good legislation.
I'm glad we came up and you worked with Rachel to
Yeah.
get it good, so. Can I get a motion to make a favorable recommendation?
I'll make a motion to move ordinance 127126 out of committee with a favorable recommendation.
Second.
Seconded by Johnson. All in favor, say aye. Any nays? Any abstentions? Thank you. Thank you, Frank. Can I get a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor, say aye. Any abstentions? Any nays? Thank you. Thank you. you, Frank.
Good evening, everyone. Are we? If everyone could get to their seats, and we're going to start caucus.
Please,
Carly, could you call the roll? Go for it.
Adams, Anane, Vallerin. He is here, but he is not speaking. Brody, also here.
I'll call you when I come out
Farrell?
of here.
Here.
Yes.
Flynn,
here.
All right.
Hoey, Johnson,
Present.
Jones,
I'll call you.
Keegan, also here. Lumpkin is currently absent tonight. Powell. Powell.
Here.
Thank you. Robinson, Williamson, and Zamer.
Here. Can you hear? Are the mics on?
They should. You can't hear.
It just doesn't sound like it, right? Can you hear us?
Check,
Would you be able to tell from outside? Testing, 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 testing. Oh, now it's on. Now it's on. Okay.
Check.
Good evening, everyone. We're going to begin caucus this evening. First of all, thank you so much for coming in early. And I wanted to give a huge thanks to the administration and our partners in the police department, the fire department, and the Department of General Services who are going to come in and talk about the fire at DGS last week. So I'll welcome you up. As they come up, a reminder to everyone that the investigation just started. They're not able to answer a lot of very specific questions. So when we're asking questions, just to keep that in mind. But would love to welcome everyone up to talk a bit about it. And we deeply appreciate you coming in, and we'd love to hear about the incident, and also I know that there are some things coming up to support our colleagues that were impacted by this, and anything that you can share that we can help with in any way, we'd also love to know. I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Riley. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Council Member, and thank you, members of the Council, Council President Kimbrough, for the opportunity for the administration to provide an update on the incident this evening. First and foremost, just thoughts and prayers remain with our two colleagues and friends who were injured and with their families. As Councilmember Farrell shared, we are still undergoing an active investigation on the situation, so updates may be limited from the administration, given the ongoing nature of the investigation. We will continue to keep you updated as we are able to. And I want to thank my colleagues, Chief Cox, Chief Gregory, and Commissioner Panunzio for joining me here tonight. Chief Cox, I'll turn it over to you to give an update first.
Thank you, sir. Good evening. So on Tuesday, August 4th, at approximately 3:15 p.m., there was an industrial accident at the Albany Department of General Services, located at 1 Connors Boulevard. Specifically, there was an explosion and subsequent fire at the temporary fuel pump system within the property. This is the system that's set up for fueling of city vehicles, while the permanent fuel tanks, system, and island are replaced. The investigation is still very active today, and we are awaiting a number of pieces to be completed. Preliminarily, Battalion Chief Wayne Brennan had completed fueling his unit. He had pulled away and he'd recognized that gasoline was spilling out of the pumps. He had pulled his vehicle away from the pumps, parked, and sought assistance from DGS personnel, which he ultimately received from DGS Supervisor Anthony Hughes. Chief Brennan went to the panel where the pump is operated and attempted to disable the pump. Ultimately, a spark ignited the vapors, causing an explosion, of which that seriously injured both Battalion Chief Brennan and Supervisor Hughes. As a result of those injuries, Chief Brennan was immediately brought to Westchester Medical Center, and Supervisor Hughes was transported to Albany Medical Center and then ultimately transferred to the Clark Burn Center at Upstate Hospital in Syracuse. The Albany Police Department, in conjunction with investigators from the New York State Office of Fire Prevention and Control, started working to determine the cause and origin of the explosion. Also on the scene within 24 hours of the incident were investigators from the New York State Department of Labor, Public Employee Safety and Health Bureau, which is PESH. We ultimately called for resources from the State Department of Environmental Conservation Services and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives. They've now joined our investigation. That all allows for a methodical review of all aspects of the incident to include mechanical, environmental, and human factors that need to be understood so that we can have a full picture of ultimately what caused that explosion. This process will take time and needs to be done with care so that we have a full understanding of the cause and origin. That's where we are at. All of those parties have met, they continue to meet, and we will have ultimately a full report back from all of those parties. I can say that this is an industrial accident, this is not criminal, and we will continue to work with our partners from the state and federal level to determine the cause and origin and make sure we review all factors.
Good evening. So I'm here to provide some information from the fire department's perspective. So basically the demographics. The date of the incident was Tuesday, August 4th, 2026. The location was 1 Connors Boulevard, the Department of General Services. Our initial call for service was initiated at 3:12 p.m. That was initiated by our member at the scene. Our units were dispatched. Albany Fire Department was dispatched at 3:13 p.m. AFD arrived at 3:17 p.m. and the fire was placed under control at 3:24 p.m. So a little bit about the scene. The fire department was dispatched for an explosion and fire at the DGS fuel pump area. Upon arrival, the Albany Fire Department found an active fire at the fueling area. Additionally, there were 2 severe burn patients on scene. The fire department conducted simultaneous operations to control and extinguish the fire while administering immediate EMS care to both patients. One patient was an Albany Fire Department battalion chief. The second patient was a DGS supervisor. Both suffered severe burns as a result of the initial explosion and fire. So now I'll give you an update on our member. I remain in constant contact with Battalion Chief Brennan's family, mainly his son Ryan, who's a 3-year veteran, a 3-year firefighter with our department. So a brief update on Battalion Chief Brennan's condition. So he's currently under care at the Westchester Medical Center burn unit. It's probably the best place he can be. As previously stated, Wayne suffered 2nd and 3rd degree burns to 33.5% of his body. He remains intubated. And just speaking with his son yesterday and getting an update. So doctors are hopeful of moving to the next level of care this week to continue the very long and difficult healing process. So members of the Albany Fire Department have been traveling to Westchester to visit with him and to support the Brennan family. So we do ask for continued thoughts and prayers for Wayne, our DGS colleague, and their families as we rally around them through this process. That's it from the fire department. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Chief. First and foremost, our prayers and thoughts are always with Anthony, our supervisor. He communicated with him today. I'll give you an update. He's going in for another surgery tomorrow. He's alert and oriented, never lost consciousness, and he's been able to speak to us on the phone. The family has asked us to keep them in the prayer and also respect their privacy, and but wanted me to, on behalf of the family, to thank everyone that has sent out letters, notices, phone, and love that that concerned the family. As per the incident, it was a regular day or a Monday. Like I said at the press conference, I fueled up hours before without an incident. Other people besides me, after me, fueled up without incidents. So something must have happened, and I'll leave that to the expert to guide us with whatever the evidence drives us to. So that's all we got.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate the update, and we are with every single, obviously, our 2 members that are in critical care, but we also know that this deeply impacts both of your departments and the people that worked with them. I do want to note that there is a fundraiser to benefit the members and their families on Saturday, August 29th from 2 to 6 at Biden's Brewing Company. So please go to that, and if you can't go, donate, share it with your networks. And they also have a silent auction. I'll see if I can find out exactly where one can donate to that, because there might be, council members might have some ideas or something to help with those donations. Before I open it up to questions, I did want to ask, is there anything, obviously that's helping the families, but is there anything that we can do as a council to help support we also know that this impacts the workforce, and the people that work with these members a great deal. So if there is anything that we can do to support the members who are still there and are either traveling to see their colleague or emotionally impacted in any way, I know that we would very happily do that. So please keep us in mind, because we would very much like to do that. Does anybody have any questions? No. Thank you so much. We deeply appreciate you coming in. And again, we are your partners through all of this, and we want to be helpful in any way we can. We really appreciate it. So we'll run through the agenda. I do want to see, I know that we are actually going to be voting on the 2 CPRB members, and I will be welcoming them up. They were planning on coming to Caucus, so we'll be able to talk to them this evening as well. On your desk, you will see one of the first things that we'll go through is the presentation of petitions. So that will be something that will be entered in. So our clerk will be putting that in, and this is the first time that I have had anything to do with like this, so it should be interesting. I know that let us know if you need any support, Shaniqua, as you work through it. But that will be going to the Law Committee. And from there, that will be scheduling meetings. I'm hoping that we'll, although I'll let Councilmember Anane maybe talk to that a bit after we go through the agenda, but hopefully we'll start them before budget, because it is my expectation that we'll be all very focused on budget. It's going to be tough to do much else. So after that exciting thing, moving to local laws introduced from Councilmember Keegan, Local Law Q of 2026, which will go to Finance. It's a local law amending Chapter 333, taxation of the Code of City of Albany by repealing the business investment exemption, the industrial and commercial incentive board, and the residential commercial urban expansion. Did you want to say anything about that, Councilmember Keegan?
Sure. So early on in my tenure as finance chair, I became aware that we have pilot exemptions that allow for developers to bypass the IDA process, which essentially means with having the opt-in of 485A and B under state property law, those properties automatically receive a pilot. We couldn't deny them because we've chosen to opt in. And we're doing so without having any sort of community benefit in place in exchange for those pilots. So the repeal of this legislation, which we made a minor tweak this morning after a conversation with the assessor's office and the treasurer's office to ensure that we're not impacting projects that would be applying for this exemption for this fiscal year. So the effective date would be March 1st of 2027, which is the deadline to apply for 485 exemptions within sort of the fiscal year that we're in. And there is one project that would be impacted by that if we were to pass this legislation immediately. But going forward from sort of the end of this fiscal cycle, any developer seeking a pilot tax exemption would then have to go through the IDA process. And that does a number of things. First, it ensures that those projects are going through a financial means test to ensure that they're going to be viable, whether they're receiving tax breaks or not. And secondly, those projects have to engage in certain community benefit practices in order to qualify for those pilots as they go through the IDA process. And I am a firm believer that we should not be granting tax exemptions to properties unless there is a benefit incentive to the community. So that is the purpose of this repeal. It's anticipated that this would only impact 1 or 2 development projects that are coming through the city each year. So certainly is not going to have a huge or be a hindrance, in my opinion, based upon the history of those projects that have utilized this particular part of the code. I don't think that it would severely hinder development in the city to repeal.
Thank you so much. Next, from Councilman Bernane, Local Law R of 2026, which will go to housing. That is local law amending Part 4 of Chapter 231 of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to registration of rental dwellings required and primary and secondary indicators establishing a rebuttal presumption that a building is being used as a rental dwelling. Did you want to say anything on that this evening, Mr.? I'm sure there will be plenty of discussion in the Housing Committee. In local laws held, we will be moving Councilmember Hoey's Local Law P of 2026. So we'll be voting on that this evening. Did you want to say anything on that, Councilmember Hoey?
Just to repeat that this was passed, well, it came up in 2021 and was passed in 2022, if I have my record right. And this just clears up some vagueness in the original law. Thank you.
Thank you so much. In ordinances held, we'll be moving Councilmember Powell's ordinance 127126, which passed through the General Services this evening. Did you want to say anything on that, Councilmember Powell?
Sure. I have been working this legislative session pretty much since about March on this legislation with DGS. Frank Zioli from DGS was here to talk about it in committee. Essentially, this is about allowing the city the exemption to apply pesticides on ball fields. There's some information that Mr. Zioli was talking about that he has that certain groups may or may not be applying certain pesticides to the ball fields. So the thought of this is if we take over, if the city takes responsibility of that, We know that it will be done by a licensed DEC professional. It will be done in a way that abides by all rules and regulations by New York State regarding notifications, postings, and that it will be done in a way that is the least harmful and examines the timeliness so that there's the least amount of exposure to those who are playing on these fields. So the city is talking about taking responsibility for that application, and that is essentially why we're putting forward the ordinance today.
Thank you very much. Next, in resolutions introduced from Councilmember Ballerin, Resolution 898226R, Resolution of the Common Council in honor of Albany Latin Fest 2026. In Caucus, we all wanted to be co-sponsors on that. Do people still want to remain co-sponsors? That looks like a yes. Excellent. Next from Councilmember Adams, Resolution 908226R, a resolution of the Common Council reappointing Jonathan Nix as a member of the Commission on Monuments and Public Art. That will go to planning. Next from Councilmember Keegan, Resolution 918226R, resolution of the Common Council reappointing Judy Deshay as a member of the Board of Assessment Review. That will go to finance. We have several resolutions introduced by majority consent. The first from Councilmember Johnson, Resolution 928226R, resolution of the Common Council celebrating the 79th anniversary of Mount Zion Baptist Church. We will be taking that out of order. So Councilmember Kimbrough, as long as they are here, we'll take it before public comment. If they're not here before public comment, then we'll take it right after. But hopefully everyone will be here and we can take it first thing after we pledge allegiance and we have silence for a moment. Next, from Councilmember Hoey, both of these resolutions, Resolution 938226R and Resolution 948226R, these are appointments for the CPRB. And I'm going to turn it over to Councilmember Hoey because I believe both members are here this evening.
Yeah, thank you. I saw Tamel, but I think he walked out. But JR, why don't you come up first? And if anybody has any questions, both nominees came out of the committee with a positive recommendation.
Good evening. It's been a while. Well, thank you, Councilmember Hoey, and for the public safety team for the recommendation to move forward. Looking forward to starting the work, but I think everybody else. So, anybody have any questions? I'm ready to answer.
Do you want to give just a background because some new members might not know, just a rough what you've done over the last few years? It's been a lot of years, but you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, so currently I'm in-house at National Grid and Senior Council. Currently also serve on the Airport Authority Board. And those are the main gist of the things right now that I'm currently doing.
Councilmember Keegan?
First of all, thank you for being willing to serve, and so happy to see you back in chambers again. But for the new folks in the room, JR was our attorney, and you did.
Oh, I did. I'm sorry. I thought it was already discussed. My body.
And I believe in that capacity, you assisted the council in the updates that were made to the CPRB legislation that led to, what was it, Local Law J of 2021?
Yes, Local Law J that was voted on referendum. Yep.
Yes. So I think that is also an incredibly important accomplishment, and I'm so happy to see you come back full circle to be willing to serve on a body that you helped create as staff support here on the council. So I felt that needed to be said out loud in this room tonight for those that were not on the council with us back then. That's all.
Councilmember Flynn?
No, that's what I was going to say. The new people didn't know that you were our attorney. Thank you.
Councilmember Johnson.
Thank you for coming, Jared. I appreciate it.
Councilmember Williamson.
Look forward to working with you in the first ward, and hoping that you'll do a great job on the CRP.
Thank you so much. And I just wanted to, Councilmember Ballerin.
Thank you. It's good to see you again, JR. I know you've got a legal background, and I know you've got a good, intense knowledge of the city and in the workings and the breakdown. Can you give us just a little bit about how that experience and knowledge can help the work that the board is looking to do, and how you can be an asset to moving that initiative forward?
I think, you know, when I was council here, there were a lot of things that were going on with the board, and still some things going on to this day, but really having the inner workings of how City Hall works and just making sure that the mission of the organization is going forward with talking with the program director to making sure that we're having all the necessary resources, and also making sure that the process of the complaints are handled with care is something when we were drafting Local Law J that I got really intimately involved in to understand how it was coming from beginning to end.
Thank you, Chair. And I appreciate you willing to take your time and to be on this board, because I know it's not an easy board to be on. I know it deals with some very intense situations. So I appreciate you willing to be on it, put your time to it, and give your legal experience as part of those conversations that will be had. Thank you again.
Councilmember Johnson, did you?
Yeah, yes, thank you. So I remember when you first came aboard, one of the strong points that they spoke about is your advocacy for the community that you lived in at that time. And so when the conversation came before me, I said it was a no-brainer because of your knowledge of, what's going on in our city, as well as the needs of the voice on the CPRB. So it's always nice to see a familiar face. Thank you for your willingness to serve on the CPRB.
Councilmember Nani.
Thank you. And, I've known John Raphael since college. And one thing I'll tell you this, he's attention to detail. He's a hard worker. He cares about this city. And I am so proud to see that he continued time and time again, put his name out there to serve this city. And we're very grateful for your experience. And also we appreciate all the work that you did when you was here on the council. So I look forward to your leadership with the CPRB and your teamwork activities. Thank you.
And I just wanted to add my gratitude with my colleagues. It was an honor to work with you when you were counsel to the council. You were a brilliant person, and as my colleagues have said, very dedicated. And we're fortunate that your desire to give continues and to serve in this capacity. And I think that having someone with the knowledge that you have of Local Law J and the intricacies of what the CPRB is will be an absolute asset to that body. So very much appreciate you continuing to step up, and thank you. So with that, we can...
Thank you, John. Thank you, JR.
Thank you, guys.
And next up, we have Tamel Anderson, who also passed out of committee with a positive recommendation.
And just a brief note to both Tamela and JR. We could take your resolutions out of order. Did you want to watch those get passed? Because we could take those out of order as well. Okay, come on up.
Thank you for coming, Tamel. Do you want to just give just a little bit of background and why you're applying, and there might be some questions from other council members.
Oh, good evening. My name is Tamel Anderson, longtime Albany resident. And I, like all of you, recognize the importance of civic engagement and serving the community. There's so many social determinants that impact the health of my community. And because I understand that, I've realized the need to be involved. And so I'm just like any one of you. I understand the need to try to navigate or help the community navigate important issues that impact us every day.
Tamel, do you want to just say, like you had told me, and I didn't realize it till you told me the other night, how you worked in Schenectady in the jails and stuff?
Oh, okay.
Please.
One of the assignments that I was fortunate enough to experience was working in Schenectady on the Human Rights Commission. And in the commission, we created a jail oversight committee. The jail oversight committee gave us unrestricted access to Albany County jail. 24 hours a day, we was able to go into the jails. Many times there were issues regarding human rights complaints. So we'd have to go to the cells of the inmates and actually sit there and talk to them about the complaints, but also speak to the officers who in many instances were responsible for the ticket that led to some of them were in isolation units. So we had to go, but we were able to speak to the officers. We developed a relationship with the officers. When something happened, we was able to more or less get to the bottom of it and mediate without having to involve a lot of paperwork. So I was fortunate to have experienced that, and there was a lot of success as a result of that experience.
Thank you so much. Are there any questions from council members? Councilmember Keegan?
Mr. Anderson, thank you so much for coming in to meet with us this evening and tell us about yourself. And I don't really have a question for you. I just wanted to thank you for being willing to step up and serve our community. It is always appreciated, and I know that the work of the Community Police Board, Review Board, in comparison to a lot of other boards and commissions, there's an incredible amount of work that needs to be done. And so we are always so grateful for those who wish to step up and serve. So thank you.
Councilmember Johnson?
Thank you. I just want to say, again, thanks to Mr. Anderson. You know, every time that I bump into him in the community, it's always a fruitful conversation. He's always giving you a refreshing perspective. And one thing that I can count on him is he's going to be organically honest with you. And I think that's another element that we need to the board. I think he's going to bring a season that's needed, and I'm excited about what's to come with it. So thank you, my brother.
Councilmember Williamson?
Yes, I just want to say thank you for coming, Mr. Anderson. I know your experience, your background will be very needed in the CRP. So I just want to thank you once again. Congrats.
Thank you.
Councilmember Bernani?
Yeah, I just want to share my support. You know, we've gone way back since college days, and sitting on panels and talking about criminal justice and a whole host of things, and just to see, over a decade, to see that you're volunteering for the CPRB, which is such a wonderful board. And I think with your life experience and also your commitment to this city, you'd be a great addition. So again, thank you so much for your willingness to serve, and we look forward to working with you and the rest of the CPRB board. And don't hesitate to reach out whenever you need anything.
And I would just like to echo the gratitude of my colleagues. We really appreciate your willingness to serve in this capacity. It's one of the most important commissions that we have, and it really takes people being willing to step up, put the time in. It's also one of the more there's a lot that goes into it, a lot of time that's put in, and legwork that's put into things, and we're so fortunate to have people like you and of your caliber being willing to serve in this position. So thank you so much for doing that.
Thank you.
So, Mr. President, if we could take those out of order as well after the Mount Zion thing, and that way, since we have the gentleman here, we might as well pass it so they can see the resolution passed. So those will be taken out of order as well. Moving on in the agenda to... Oh, yes, thank you so much. You're welcome to stay there, but you also don't have to anywhere. You could sit anywhere you want. Moving on to resolutions held, we're actually removing Resolution 817226R from the active calendar this evening. We will be taking it up at a future meeting. Next, Councilmember Robinson's Resolution 848126R. We will be passing that this evening. It passed through the General Services Committee, but it does need to be amended, so it will be passed as amended. Just to please note that. Next, from Councilmember Lumpkin, Resolution 858126R. That passed through General Services this evening as well, and so we will be moving on that. And then we will be moving on Resolution 868126R, which is a resolution of the Common Council approving a change in the authorized positions included in the 2026 city budget, which will affect a salary rate or salary total. This, again, is for removing the junior title from our positions. It does not have a fiscal impact this year or next, aside from, obviously, raises and things like that. So that is the agenda this evening. And I wanted to, Mr. Hoey might be talking about it right now. We'll be sending around a proclamation for that people can sign on to about the Ukraine, so keep an eye out for that. And is that what you wanted to talk about?
No, I wanted to ask you something else. I'm sorry. When we do the appointments for the CPRB, if they do pass, would it be possible to get a photo?
Absolutely.
Because just to let everybody know, this is the CPRB. For the first time in 4 or 5 years, we're going to have a full 9-member complement on that committee, and it's been a long road. So I'd like to celebrate it tonight. Hopefully we'll pass and get a picture after. Thank you.
And I would like to say a huge thanks to Councilmember Hoey, who has been absolutely working so hard to make that happen, along with the administration and their appointments, and obviously our CPRB director, Garrett Sheriff, who has been doing incredible work as well. So, yes, please. Mr. Flynn.
I just want to explain the amendment to 848126. It originally said Henry Johnson Boulevard, but for some reason, they can't do a street naming for Henry Johnson Boulevard, so it's Livingston. I just want to let you guys know that was the reason for the amendment. Thank you.
Go ahead, Garrett.
Good evening, everyone. I'm the CPRB Program Director, Garrett Schaff. I just wanted to take a minute to give you all some updates on operations. Last week, we hired our first of 2 investigators, and our second investigator will be joining us on Monday next week. So between the potential appointments this evening and those 2 staff members, not only will the board have a full complement of 9 members, but our staff will be fully in place as well. We are on track to be able to fully resume and meet all of our obligations and responsibilities fully in 2027. 2026 has been a rebuild year, as I've said on many occasions. I also want to announce that the Community Police Review Board, in association with the Office of Professional Standards and the Center for Law and Justice, will be hosting free community learning sessions in the coming weeks. Those sessions will be held at 520 Livingston Avenue at the Albany West Recreational Facility. The first offering is going to be on Wednesday, August the 26th from 5:30 to 7:30 p.m. And the second offering will be September the 19th on a Saturday from 11 a.m. until 1 p.m. The purpose of these sessions is to inform the community on what the CPRB does, how the police oversight process and system works in the city of Albany, and the various roles that both the CPRB and the Office of Professional Standards plays within that system, while also allowing the community to meet CPRB staff, CPRB membership, and members of the Office of Professional Standards. Are there any questions?
I also just wanted to note that in addition to having a full CPRB, we are also fully staffed. This is significant because, while we appreciate our previous investigators, they were contractors from New York City that we were paying a lot of money for. So having in-house investigators will allow us to do a lot more investigation, a lot more, just be a lot more flexible and really dig into different things. There's a lot more possibilities that the CPRB has. So thank you for that. And if you don't mind just providing a quick update on that too, that would be amazing, because I'm not sure that I'm sure people are reading the things that you're sending out, but the public isn't necessarily seeing it.
Absolutely. So when this body decided to bring the CPRB fully within the city government, one of the things it also insisted upon was better financial management. One of the cost prohibitive aspects of the CPRB has been farming out day-to-day operations through contract service providers, specifically our investigative and monitoring aspects were provided through a firm in New York City, and it was very cost prohibitive both for logistics of travel-wise and financial-wise. So now that we have the staff in place, the staff will be able to, they're going to work with OPS to learn how OPS does their investigations, so we can craft a process that satisfies the needs of the board and the community when the board is doing its own investigations. The staff members that we selected, both of them are highly experienced investigators. One comes with experience in the private sector doing internal employment investigations, and the other comes from within the law enforcement sector. They are a former military police officer and have had significant law enforcement experience in Massachusetts. They've retired from their law enforcement role and are now living in the Albany area, and we're looking to get back into the government service and back into providing services for the community. I'm very excited for both of them to come and join us. They are excited to join us as well, and we are all three, with the assistance of our confidential secretary, Braylon Cordonis, we are all eager to help build a robust monitoring investigations program to serve all the needs of the board and the community as designed and intended by this body when the body, excuse me, when the body empowered the board to conduct independent investigations.
I saw Councilmember Keegan was putting her hands up. Oh, I'm so sorry. That's
Not regarding CPRB, but I was just going to talk about the law committee. We have potential scheduling date for Wednesday, September 9th at 5:30, and just please check your emails to confirm, but I believe that we'll be talking about the ranked choice legislation by Councilmember Jack Flynn, and also we're going to go over the petition referendum petition that was submitted, as well as Councilmember Alfredo Ballorin's legislation, particularly on updating the fee and documentation for requirement for domestic partnership. I anticipate us having multiple meetings to go over these topics. And as always, you don't have to be a committee member to attend. All are welcome. Thank you.
Councilmember Keegan.
I remember now. I just wanted to go back to the training information sessions that you are planning to provide. Is there any plan, and I'm not saying it has to be immediate, but any plan to have sort of a condensed version of what you're providing to the community be incorporated into something that's tangible for folks who maybe can't make it in person? You know, like a video conglomeration of that training that may be available online.
So the two planned events we have now are our first initial offering. So we're trying, this is like our test. We want to see how logistics work and all of that. We will be publicizing and publishing all of the materials that we use during the training.
Okay.
But I envision that we have these events quarterly.
Okay.
Some type of ongoing learning sessions quarterly. Maybe it's not specifically this exact topic, but over time, quarterly, we have learning sessions about how the program works, how investigations are done, things like know your rights trainings and interacting with law enforcement or through the criminal justice system, and even things to the level of like know your rights when you're interacting with your landlord or when you're dealing with this matter or that matter, and kind of open it up to the community and all of the community organizations that help support the citizens of this city and making sure that they are treated the way that they're supposed to be treated, and working with them to build that training more robust over time.
And will those community engagements happen specifically just in West Hill, or will they be sort of traveling around to different neighborhoods across the city?
So I'm anticipating on being able to offer these throughout the city because we don't serve just one part of the city, we serve the city as a whole. Part of what I am building into our budget for 2027 is to purchase the necessary audiovisual equipment in order to be able to facilitate these meetings in a location that may not have a television or a projector or a screen or something along those lines. So we can go to other communities, whether that's community halls or local libraries or churches or even somebody's house that's willing to host it for the entire community to come over and have those events throughout the community. Because I do think it's very important for this board to show its presence throughout the city, not just in certain aspects or certain areas of the city.
Those were really my only questions, because you had mentioned kind of restarting the community engagement piece, but I wanted to ensure that folks in the city who couldn't necessarily make those 2 dates were still able to interface and engage with what CPRB is starting to provide in terms of education.
Absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
Appreciate that. Thank you.
No problem.
Thank you so much. Yep, Councilmember.
I have a question, not for you, but I'm told that Councilmember Lumpkin can't make it today, so I didn't know if Councilmember Johnson would like to carry it since you have a personal relationship with them.
That would be fantastic.
And if
Great.
Councilmember Robinson doesn't show, I will carry it unless you want somebody else to carry it.
Excellent. No, that's perfect.
Thank you.
Mr. Hoey, and then Council President, I believe that we would have a bit of time if we can invite our friends from LaSalle up. So go ahead, Councilmember
Sure.
Hoey.
Real fast, I was approached by several people in the Capital District, labor leaders, looking for a resolution about the children that were kidnapped with the invasion of Ukraine, and taken back to Russia. So we decided that the resolution really, it'd be easier to do a proclamation and probably better. So the staff has written up the proclamation. I'll make sure everybody gets a copy. If you want to sign on, I'd really appreciate it, and we'll bring this up in September. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And if the people from LaSalle School want to come up and talk a bit about, I will turn it over to you, Council President.
Okay, welcome, Mr. Wallace. It's been a minute. Okay.
Is that better? Much? Okay. I don't need to start over, do I? All right, okay. Again, the program will provide after-school, evening and weekend, non-clinical, peer-to-peer, social, emotional, vocational, recreational services. Also will provide interventions for food insecurity, homelessness, personal hygiene. This will not be a residential program. This will not be a clinical program. This really is designed for very, very early intervention. Young people can refer themselves. They need no insurance. They need no probation referral. They need no copay. Again, designed to be a very, very low barrier resource to young people. Of course, any children that are in need of additional residential, clinical, medical, other services, we are partnering with providers throughout the city and throughout the county to make sure those needs will be met. Maddie Brown, our new program manager, is assembling that team of youth peer counselors. These will be young people with lived experience that is similar to the young people that we expect to come and avail themselves of the project. And so these folks will have experience with foster care and juvenile justice and special education, mental health, food insecurity, and homelessness. The program itself is being driven and guided by a rotating board of youth advisors. These young people also have shared experience of homelessness and foster care and mental illness and special education needs. And so this program is youth-driven, youth-guided, for youth, by youth. And so in addition to just sharing information about the new project that we're very excited about, getting the word out, I'd also like you to think about young people in life that may not just be a benefit, rather, from the program, but think about young people in their life that may be in a position to serve on this rotating youth advisory board to help us continue the work and develop the vision that they've helped us to bring to life.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And this is incredibly timely with everything that we've been discussing in the city. It's absolutely amazing that you're providing this. Does anybody have any questions? Councilmember Flynn?
Thank you for this program. Are you aware that Mark Robinson has legislation that would be great if this went into the night hours? So my question is, when does your program kind of end? Because I think Mark's legislation goes from like 10 to 6 in the morning, kind of exactly what you just said.
Yeah, the program, again, we're hoping to be open by September 1 as our soft launch. Grand opening
hours, like
will be
3 to
9:20. Yep, September 23rd. The hours have yet to be completely determined. The grant that we've received from New York State OMH does require us to be open 6 days per week and at least one weekend evening. And so we expect to be open probably in the hours of 3 to 8 weekdays and something different in the week. But because the program needs to be responsive to the youth coming to the program, we are open and flexible in making changes to make sure that we are open during the times that young people need us to be open. And so that remains dynamic.
Thank you. Hopefully you can come to when we have a committee meeting on that legislation, because that'd be great.
Thank you.
Councilmember Powell?
Yes, I'm sorry. I apologize. I may have missed this, but where's the physical location of the program?
Excellent question. I think I may have failed to say that. It will be housed on our LaSalle campus at 391 Western Avenue, right across from the former St. Rose College. And so it's in a former dormitory that was once used for residential foster care, no longer being utilized. We've been able to pivot, redesign the space, and because it's on the very edge of our campus, right on Western Avenue, we believe it'll be readily accessible to young people.
Great, thank you.
Councilmember Adams?
Thank you for providing this information. Just to piggyback off some of the previous questions, with the rollout happening September 1st and making adjustments to the campus, is the grant funding going towards the infrastructure changes, maybe at the facility or on the campuses, or is that more so geared towards the peer-to-peer individuals that you'll be bringing in?
That's a great question. So the grant funding is actually a 5-year term, about $500,000 annual, again, from Governor Hochul's emphasis on increasing access to mental health supports for young people and school-age children. The year one budget does include some money for renovation of the building, specifically for the purposes of the program. But I'm sorry to say it did not meet the entire need. And so we've had to seek additional contributions from donors and from the LaSalle School Foundation to cover the cost of renovations. But the grant itself will cover the operational cost for 5 years.
Thank you.
Councilman Bernani?
First, I just want to thank you so much for your tremendous leadership. And, you know, the governor with this contribution is a testament to your leadership. And in the Pine Hills neighborhood, we've seen, it's no longer a college neighborhood. We've seen a lot of youth in Midtown Pine Hills, and I think this is so fitting and timely for our neighborhood. Just want to say thank you so much for all that you do for the Pine Hills neighborhood and the Capital Region as a whole.
Thank you. Appreciate your comments.
Councilmember Keegan?
Thank you. I'm incredibly excited to hear that this program is opening up. I do have a couple of questions. In terms of staffing and board membership, is that still within the same age range, that 12 to 24?
The board membership, yes, needs to be reflective of the population of young people that we are serving, and so rotating youth advisory board members are welcome to fall within the ages of 12 to 24, and currently we have about 8 youth who have been participating on and off in that, and they have been involved in every bit of planning and development, from policy and procedure development to picking paint colors and interior design. So they've been very much involved. Their fingerprints are all over the space. For staffing, the grant and New York State requirements do expect that the staff will achieve a youth peer advocate credential, and I believe the age range on that is 18 to 29 years old, if I'm not mistaken, Maddie. 19 to 30. Thank you, Maddie.
Councilmember Adams? Oh, I'm so sorry. Councilmember Keegan, keep going,
okay.
and then when she's done, Councilmember Adams.
And as sort of a follow-up to that, and this actually may be more an appropriate question for the program manager, but has there been any connection made between LaSalle and our SIAP program in terms of the potential relationship there for board membership of the youth that we have coming through SIAP who typically would qualify under that, but also for the folks that are going through SIAP as workforce readiness and a partnership there in the potential recruitment for those youth counselors, because that seems it's the same sort of age range of people, so it seems like it would be a really good fit and resource.
I'm gonna look at Maddie for a head shake or a nod, and
Okay. We do have a year-round program. It's not just summer. So I think it would be great if you could connect with Commissioner Jones about a potential partnership there with that program, because you're targeting sort of the same cohort of young people. And I swear this is my last and final question. I'm assuming this program is not just for kids in the city of Albany. Are we expecting to be serving youth regionally at this location?
yeah, that's correct. So the grant, because it is state funding, is not limited to the city or county of Albany. While I do expect that transportation will be a barrier for those outside the city, we did want our location to be as accessible as possible, and we have been in communication with adjacent counties, school districts, commissioners, et cetera. And so, yes, we certainly are open and available to young people residing outside of Albany City and Albany County, and we do have some budget and means to provide transportation assistance for young people who'd like to attend.
Okay, thank you.
Councilmember Adams?
Sorry, just a question that came to mind. Even though this is a grant program, I'm not sure as to if you had to put in a certain application and if there were certain metrics that came along with this program being implemented, and if so, if there's a goal, since it's a 5-year program, is there any like data collection being looked at, anything being studied here for us to gain anything from this outside of providing the actual services?
Yes, that's a great question. So the grant itself was a competitive, statewide competitive RFP with OMH being the grantor. Initially, it was hoped to have made 5 initial awards statewide. I believe 4 were made. One program has since had to drop out, and so we are one of 3 programs that are operational and moving toward opening. There have been additional grant opportunities, which I think yielded 1 additional provider. So again, back to a total of 4, but they're a little behind the first cohort. I believe what made our proposal a strong proposal was our history and track record and strong reputation for providing trauma-informed care, youth-responsive, family-responsive services across a continuum of care. Those are all the strengths and skills and institutional knowledge that we will be leveraging and pivoting for this project. With respect to outcomes, the program is expected to serve at least 500 unique individuals a year. And so these are young people that might come every Tuesday for the cooking class, or Wednesdays for basketball, or they may just come once for a shower and a sandwich. And so it really is designed to be very flexible, very nimble. OMH is beginning to develop a data set for each of the providers to roll out. That has not yet been completed, but they too are very interested in outcomes and impact. And so once we have more information about that, I'd certainly be willing to come back and share with President Kimbrough.
Thank you so much.
you.
Just because we have to get to our council meeting, it might, and I would love, you're right, LaSalle is in the 13th ward, so I really, really appreciate you bringing this to the city and looking out for our youth. It might be something that if there are further questions and something in interest, perhaps at a public safety committee meeting can have a broader discussion in the future, but we really appreciate all your work on this and coming in. This is something very much needed, so thank you for continually looking out for our youth.
Happy to do it. I'm glad to be here. And certainly President Kimbrough, as a trustee of our LaSalle School Board, certainly knows how to find me. So if any of you need any additional information, I'm happy to make myself available. We also have some information packets I can leave and an invitation to the ribbon cutting.
Excellent. Thank
Please
you
join
so
us.
much. Briefly, before I turn it over to Council President to start the meeting, I just also wanted to note in our field trip series, we will have another opportunity to potentially go to Lock 1, which is the thing that is being unearthed. We have BJ Costello playing 2 roles tonight. So I will be sending an email out. We can actually go and check it out and see what's happening there. If people aren't aware, that is something that is one of the original locks on the Erie Canal. It was primarily for logging, and it's underneath the earth right now, and they're hoping to unearth it and actually make it into a park as part of the initiative that the governor is doing. So with that, I will turn it over. Oh, hold on.
Just a quick technical note before we enter into the full meeting. Ordinance 127126, which was passed out of committee tonight with a positive recommendation, was subject to a small change. The text of the ordinance remains the same as it was when it was introduced, but the supporting memorandum has been updated to add additional context. That version of the supporting memorandum will be reflected in the final materials for this meeting.
Okay. Thank you for that. And with that, we'll start our meeting. Madam Clerk, actually, please, the roll.
Adams.
Present.
Anani. Ballerin.
Present.
Brody.
Present.
Farrell.
Here.
Flynn.
Here.
Hoey.
Present.
Johnson.
Present.
Jones. Keegan.
Here.
Lumpkin. Powell.
Here.
Robinson. Williamson.
Present.
Zamer.
Here.
12 present, 3 absent.
Thank you. Okay. Again, welcome to our Monday, August 17th meeting. Will you please stand with me for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which stands one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Be seated. So, Ms. Farrell, for those
Thank you,
items out
Mr.
of order.
President. I move to move the following resolutions to the agenda via majority consent. Resolution 928226R, Resolution 938226R, and Resolution 948226R.
Second. Thank you, Mr. Hoy, for the second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, motion passes. We're also going to need to take some things out of order.
Yes, and I move to take these resolutions out of order.
Second, Mr.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, motion passes. So with that, we'll start with Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I noticed Resolution 92.82.26R, and I ask for it to be read in a voice vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council celebrating the 79th anniversary of Mount Zion Baptist Church.
Discussion? Mr. Johnson.
Thank you. It's my pleasure to introduce this resolution on behalf of the 79th anniversary of Mount Zion. Mount Zion, for a long time, has been the neighbor to the school that I worked at for many years, so I would watch the building all day long. And so when they appointed Pastor Jamel Robinson as its new pastor, I had a up-close view to watch some of the changes and just, just the physical changes of the building, and, having the opportunity to see him out there mowing the lawn himself, and to see the team that is being built at that church is wonderful. When I go to Mount Zion, each church is different, but when you walk into the church, you should get some type of feeling, and I definitely get that feeling watching the leadership that his wife, First Lady Robinson, is given in terms of the musical talents that she has been blessed with. And it's just always a rich feeling when I go in there, whether it be me seeing kids stepping up in the church. I just like what I see. I see the vision. He's getting involved with what's to come, low rentals, which is much needed in our community. So I've seen churches in our community hire young men and grow with that young man as a pastor. And this is what I think I'm witnessing, and it's just a beautiful thing to see it up close. So I hope, I thank everybody for co-sponsoring it, and I look forward to the work that Mount Zion is doing in our community. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson. Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I was first introduced to Mount Zion through clothing drives and giving back. This is a community that not just supports each other, but looks to support every single person outside of their doors. We are so incredibly lucky to have this community in our area for 79 years. And I will say the work that they've done on the building, the work that they've done helping people is absolutely amazing. And it is not at all surprising that our former colleague and now commissioner is leading the charge along with his incredible wife. They're obviously highly community oriented, and they have just found an incredible space where I feel like love emanates from it. So we are so grateful that this has been here for 79 years. And while I am sure Reverend Robinson does not want to be there for another 79 years, but for the next chunk of time that he's there, I know that it's just going to continue to grow in that love. So thank you so much for all that you do. It's a thrill to be able to honor you this evening.
Mr. Adams.
Thank you. Just want to thank the Mount Zion family and congregation for their hard work of helping rebuild this church. I've witnessed it with my own eyes, the passion, the work ethic that the congregation has supported and assisted to get through renovations and to make this church a church that everyone can come into. I love the fact that it's so ingrained into the community that what's happening right now is actually making it a positive change down in that neighborhood. The people on the street in that neighborhood are very much aware of the work that is coming out of this church. They see a difference, and so when we see things like that, we just want to commend them for the great work and continue to wish them success moving forward, because you do have something going there and you have a strong congregation. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you. Ms. Keegan?
I think it would be remiss for us to not also recognize the work that former council member Joyce Love has also given to Mount Zion. She is a significant part of that community, and as much work as Pastor Robinson and First Lady Robinson have done, I know that you would agree with me, Pastor Robinson, that the Honorable Joyce Love has been a huge part of Mount Zion as well, and I know she's here tonight, so I wanted to recognize her in this room and recognize the work that she is also doing in that community. And I also wanted to thank you all for welcoming us, the members of the council that came to your celebration yesterday morning. What a wonderful, joyful room that was, with just such amazing music and such an uplifting spirit and such a wonderful sermon that we all got to enjoy yesterday. So thank you for also reaching out to the members and inviting us into your community. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Anani, then Mr. Ballerin.
Well, first off, I just want to say thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank my good brother, former council member, Pastor Jamal Robinson, for all that he does for Mount Zion. For 79 years, Mount Zion has been a beacon of faith and hope and service to not just the South End, but just to the city of Albany and the capital region as a whole. As we celebrate this day, I hope that we all remember to continue to show up for leaders who continue to support our residents. This is just more than just a building. This church means so much to the community. And scripture says that when you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you know the rest. But I just want to say thank you so much, Pastor Robinson, for all that you do.
Thank you, Mr. Anani. Mr. Ballerin.
Thank you, and I'll be brief. I just wanted to say thank you to the pastor, thank you to the members of the church. 79 years is no small feat. Also, it's important for us to remember in those 79 years how many churches and places of worship has been closing and losing membership as less and less people have the faith that they used to in previous generations. So to stay open, stay vibrant, and to stay constantly changing and willing to accept the challenges of the time is a testament to the faith and the community that supports the church. It's a testament to the individuals who run the church, and we thank you very, very much. It's great to see a former council member Robinson and Commissioner Robinson today, as well as former Councilwoman Love here today to honor. I will say this, I think we'll end them out easy. I think we should have had them at the end of the agenda so they can have an experience of one more long meeting. But we'll let you off a little easy today. But thank you again for all the work that you've done, because the community needs it, and the fact that the church and your leadership has kept it going is a monument of what faith means and what faith is needed in our community today. Thank you.
Okay. Seeing no further discussion, all members are co-sponsors. All in favor, say aye.
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 Okay. Motion passes.
Okay, we'll do both together.
Okay, continuing on, Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 93-8226R and ask for its passage via roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council appointing Tamel Anderson as a member of the Community Police Review Board.
Discussion, Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Tamel had come before the Public Safety Committee and was passed out with a positive recommendation. He has a great background, and we made him talk a little bit more during the caucus, and I think he'll be a welcome addition to the board.
Thank you. Further discussion? Ms. Farrell?
I just wanted to note that perhaps we can do the photo for both of them at once after we do the second one as well.
Sure.
We can do them separately too and together and all sorts of things, but
Better
just one
together.
time.
Okay. With that, no further discussion. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Valorant.
Yes.
Brody.
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell.
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Zamer.
Yes.
12 in the affirmative.
The motion passes. Okay, Mr. Hoey, you.
Thank you,
One more time.
Mr. President. I notice Resolution 948226R and ask for its passage via roll call vote.
Madam Clerk?
A resolution of the Common Council appointing John Raphael Picardo as a member of the Community Police Review Board.
Discussion, Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. JR, John Raphael, passed out of committee with a positive recommendation. And for those of us who have served with him when he was our counsel know how dedicated and hardworking he is, and he will be a welcome addition to the board.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none. Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Anani. Valorem.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Brody.
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell.
Yes.
Williamson.
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
12 in the affirmative.
The motion passes. Congrats. Now for the picture.
Especially when people that have no questions, it's like.
Okay, back to our programming. We're about to start our public comment period. At this point in time, our public comment period, you can speak about any topic you so choose. You get 5 minutes to speak on that. When you're seated, give your name, an address, where you live or where you work here in the city. Be respectful, and when I ask you to stop talking, please stop talking. There will be a timer. I'm working on an ejection seat button, working on that. But yes, be respectful. Everyone's got something to say and wants to be heard. So with that, call it first speaker. We'll go 5 minutes. Yeah.
Our first speaker is Tor Looney.
Thank you. Torloni, Albany, New York. I'm here to speak regarding the flock safety contract that the city has. and I am speaking strongly in favor of termination of that contract. Albany is a city that protects its citizens, and this council is a shining example of this. The things that have been spoken of before talk about uplifting the history, beautiful history of the city, protecting its citizens. The Police Review Board is a beautiful example and powerful example of that. Right now, there's a dark cloud on this example that is being cast by more than a dozen flock cameras spying on our community and making us less safe. Although Flock claims to care about safety, their cameras are used to stalk women, spy on children in parks and gymnasiums, and track citizens engaged in activities New Yorkers fight to protect, such as legal abortions, immigration hearings, and nonviolent protests. And we cannot trust our contracts to prevent this, since Flock repeatedly ignores municipal contracts, sharing data with bad actors, states that do not uplift bodily autonomy, and ICE. There are multiple examples of cities canceling their Flock contracts and Flock both refusing to terminate and even turning cameras back on after a city turned them off. Our contract with Flock can be terminated at any time with 30 days notice. This is a $47,000 a year contract. We are in the first year of it, which is coming close to an end, at a time when this city is clearly in some financial, experiencing some financial challenges, also as mentioned earlier in this meeting, and some things that are being determined that include raising taxes potentially for all the residents of Albany. Every cent matters, and these are cents that are hurting our community. I strongly believe that Albany does not want Flock. I think that if we could put this out to a poll to see who in our city is in favor of these cameras, we would hear that most of us do not want these. I do want to make a distinction. Flock cameras are different from simpler license plate readers. As someone who has paid the ticket by going 31 miles per hour through a school zone, yes, I love those. They keep us safe. That's an example of a camera that does keep us safe, that is not surveilling us. It is doing the simple task that we paid them to do. Flock is not that. So I would like to speak strongly in favor of us early terminating the contract with Flock. Thank you.
Thank you.
For clarification, did he give his address? Did I miss his address?
He doesn't need.
Did he give his address? Did he give his address for the record?
We have it.
Yeah, and
We have it.
and remember, we have,
We don't need.
Okay.
it's documented up
Do we
here
want it read
when
on
they
record
sign
for
up. If you'd like, it's up to you.
I'm happy to be part of this process. Address is 441 Partridge Street, Albany, New York, 12208.
Thank you.
Ward 9.
Thank you. Please.
Just a quick reminder that we no longer require people to give their specific address, just the town that they're from.
Yeah, and we have documented.
All right, our next speaker is B.J. Costello.
Did you know that? I didn't know that. I didn't know that either.
Go Red Sox. I'm B.J. Costello. I live at 30 Berkshire Boulevard, Albany, New York, 12208. I'm in Deb Zamer's district. And I have a son who works over here with this gentleman who's a diehard Red Sox fan. And my granddaughter was happy enough to work with Miss Keegan last semester. Very, very excellent. I came for one purpose, but I just want to say, for 40 years, I served on the board at LaSalle School. I chaired that board for a long time. And I can tell you, everything Dave Wall has told you, he is a man of great integrity, and what he tells you is going to happen will happen. It's important that you stay in contact. He's a great communicator, and you will find that this program is well worth what's being spent on it. As one of only really 3 finalists in the state, it just tells you a little bit about his integrity. So thank you very much for everything you do for him. Today in the Schenectady Gazette, above the fold on the first page, was a picture of a former tulip queen in Albany. And why was she there? Because Lock 1 of the historic Erie Canal, which is down on the river here, after 200 years, is being unearthed. And we have found all the sections that made up the lock. There's one going in, one going out. They've all been found. They've been excavated. And I would really hope, as Jenny Farrell said earlier, that you come down. We'll be there for another 2 weeks doing this in the afternoon. So if you can come down and see it, I think you'll be very impressed with what's there. You know, those old rocks don't go anywhere. So they're there. I have a meeting with the governor's office this week asking them to leave it up for the year so that people can come by and actually see it and understand what it's about. And it's so important because the Erie Canal changed America, changed New York, changed Albany, which was the 8th largest city in the country when it was done. And we've lost all of our waterfront for various things, including 787. So this is the beginning of something that can bring it all back. It's all volunteers who are working on this. They're all people who are deeply committed to the city of Albany, and they give all of their time and effort to do this. And so, again, really appreciate you being here and having us. So thank you, and I hope you can come down, as they say, soon, and just let me know through Ginny, I guess, and I'll be happy to do a tour. We've had a lot of tours come through, and people are amazed. They say these rocks are still here. I say, well, in 200 years, they're not going to get up and walk away. They're only 18 inches below the ground, so it's pretty amazing. So thank you very much. Thanks.
Our next speaker is Marianne Archulog.
Oh, I got a lot to say today, so here we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Mariana Ashalug. I live at 364 Madison Avenue, Unit 2, Albany, New York, 12210. I believe that makes me Ward 6. Again, previously moved. I'm still trying to figure it out. So, welcome to day 2 of the National Week to Stop ALPRS. It is a nationwide week of action, of which there's about 500 cities nationwide participating. In Albany, of course, as you can see, is one of them, and of course, Troy across the river with their own flock troubles is also participating. We don't think it's a coincidence that flock surveillance chose this past week to announce a change in organizing in hopes of stemming the widespread criticism that the company has received for building a vast surveillance network throughout our communities with the assistance of local law enforcement agencies. Flock has called people who are protesting against them terrorists, of which they had to severely walk back because, you know, profit shares. Flock started in terms of how it got its wedge in local communities through HOAs, because, you know, we police each other, and then moved to having like this networking, business network kind of aura, I guess you could say, when it comes to police departments. If a police department has a connection with ICE and has a 287G agreement, as has been in the news lately, that doesn't necessarily stop another police department who doesn't have that agreement from still inadvertently assisting with ICE investigations. As we have seen, even though the city of Albany does not have a transparency portal, which Chief Cox was very surprised to hear that that was available, the only city in this area, Saratoga, that does have one, we can see from the evidence there that information was shared with the Florida Wildlife Gaming Management Commission, which I think we can go without saying was for ICE. My question to the council and also to the city of Albany is, what are we doing with this technology? I am convinced that most of you probably do not know what's in that contract. Do you know that Flock has the capability to turn on the cameras? Do you know that Flock keeps the data in perpetuity, separate from what any police department could be or is saying about the data that it's collecting? It's all based on smoke and mirrors and lipstick on a pig. I asked the Common Council and I asked the city of Albany, we do not need Flock. We do not need invasive tech. We understand that we want crime and we want crime to be down. We understand that we want safer communities. However, There is no trust if something like Flock can just take a picture of your license plate and then again keep the data in perpetuity, because it's not just license plates. It's also the configuration of the car, any markings on the car, or even, I don't know, facial recognition, because that also is a true reality. Again, I asked the Common Council, why do we need this? And again, I can't find any logical reasoning for it. It's invasive, it's harmful, and it really puts people at risk. We are already in a crisis of people feeling disconnected from their communities and loved ones, or even people that they can never meet, right? But yet, here we are in an environment that is Orwellian in proportions. So again, I ask the Common Council, why do we need Flock? Because we don't. We do not. You have the power, and I again will keep coming back to this, as is common for me to say. You have the power to stop this, and I believe in the democratic process that you will stop this. So thank you.
Thank you.
I believe the next name is Zora Sidney. Last name is Sidney.
I'm Zoe Morgan Sidney with the Movement for Fulfill Freedom, Democracy Everywhere. And you can Google that, it actually exists. The old Democratic Party City Council is not all that bad, but the bleeding world needs ranked ballot. The council should put principle above party in this matter. Ranked ballot really won't change Albany all that much. It hasn't changed Australia. The more places that adopt ranked ballot, the sooner everyone will have it everywhere. Ranked ballot would solve global warming, the Mideast, and authoritarianism, and the need for military spending, and create universal global prosperity. For instance, because it gives an equal chance of winning to all parties, programs, and individuals, ranked ballot will give us sharing the work week attached to the unemployment rate, so increasing the relative cost of all mechanisms of oppression as to make them prohibitive. The council should not stand in the way of this. Alternately, bills brought up in a number of co-sponsors order in the individual interest of every legislator would make them propose laws that appeal to the middle, to get them to the top of the pile. Thereby transforming all leadership everywhere into clerical functionaries, but it will also result in ranked ballot. Publicly incentivized campaign websites might undermine the last rationale for continuing neo-Bolshevik dictatorship over the proletariat. So it is the fate of freedom democracy the council will really be voting on. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mika Leslie.
You know what Joyce Lev said earlier, be brief. Good evening, everybody. My name is Micah Leslie. I am in South Pearl area, Ward 2. I'm here to talk about ranked choice voting. When I first started volunteering for them, I thought, well, this is a very good idea. You know, it's very inclusive. It's allowing more people to be involved. But once I started getting signatures, I didn't know how many people felt so disenfranchised by the party system. So it actually ended up being a little more interesting to me that I didn't realize that people were feeling like they did not have a voice. That being said, it's something that we should probably just have the people vote on. So I'm not going to ask now. Let the people vote. Let them decide if this is the system they want. And I did want to address some of the things that were in a recent article. I do understand that ranked choice voting might be negatively impact fusion voting, which is unfortunate. I do like voting, you know, I do think it's great that Working Families has the ability to put up candidates, but I don't know that that's enough of a reason to not move forward with a vote. I also believe the claim was that parties won't have the ability to choose their champion. Now we know that's a lie. We all know that you will choose a champion, and you will find your champion and find a way to make it known. And as far as some other things that were brought up about, people will be not affiliated with that party when they, you know, whenever they run. Well, you can make rules. Make rules so that that's not what happens. So just don't do that, and we don't have to worry about that. Nothing that I can see that has been brought up would prevent the current model for going to a vote. That's what they want. They want to vote. Let the people make that decision. I think you would be surprised. Well, you might not be surprised. I was surprised. You might be surprised how many people feel like they don't have a voice. So let them have it. So let it go to a vote. That is all. Have a good evening.
Thank you.
Charlotte Colette.
I'm Charlotte Collette. I'm at 1 Englewood Place, Albany, New York, 12203. I'm the co-chair of Ranked Choice Voting Albany. I live in the 6th Ward, but tonight I'm here representing every ward in the city because I've spent the last 4 months talking to your voters in every ward in the city. We gathered over 2,600 validated signatures from registered voters in the city of Albany, 222 more than the number required by law. These signatures came from every single ward. Those are your constituents communicating with you by formal petition saying to you, we want to be able to vote on this specific proposal. Now it's your job to move it forward. It's not your job to analyze it, distraction and delay. It's not your job to dissect it, delay and distraction. The law doesn't give you the power to change it. If the Common Council doesn't take action within 4 months, then we can submit the additional signatures to put it on the ballot. The Common Council has had the petition since July 1st. That's a month and a half, and still nothing. It is blatantly disrespectful to your constituents to ignore this petition by dragging your feet. It's condescending to imply that your constituents didn't understand what they were signing. I was personally out there talking to your constituents in every ward, and I can tell you that that many of your constituents lack confidence that the Common Council functions for their benefit. And it is denial to say The people in my ward aren't interested in this. The voters in every ward are interested in this and are cynical about the Common Council's desire to represent them honestly, and particularly when it comes to democratizing the voting process in the city of Albany. The situation is very simple. Your voters are communicating to you through this petition saying, let the voters vote on this. It doesn't matter if you personally support or oppose this initiative. You are free to campaign against it. But the law says it is the voters in a municipality who have the right to decide how they want to structure their elections. It's not up to the Common Council, nor Jake Crawford, who doesn't even live in the city of Albany, nor the leadership of the Working Families Party. Respect your constituents, move this initiative into their hands where it belongs, and let the voters decide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Danny Boudreau.
Good evening. I'm Danny Boudreau. I live in the 6th Ward. I want to talk tonight about Albany's unaffiliated voters, or NOPs. Sometimes we talk about them like they're just some statistic. They're not. They're our neighbors, our coworkers, the person walking their dog in Washington Park, the person worried about rent, property assessments, public safety, or the pothole on their street. They care about Albany. They just don't have a political party next to their name. I have knocked on several hundred doors across all 15 of Albany's diverse wards, and I learned that there are 100 reasons why. Some don't want a political label. Some don't feel represented by either major party. Some stay unaffiliated because of their jobs. And some simply don't believe they should have to pick a team before they can have a meaningful voice in their local democracy. We talk constantly about low voter turnout in local primaries, while shutting a huge portion of Albany voters out of them. It's a little like throwing a party, locking a third of the city outside while making them pay for it, and then asking, why didn't more people show up? This shouldn't be about one party. Whether you're a Democrat, Republican, Working Families, Green Party, DSA, Independent, or you look at all those labels and say, no thank you, you still live here. You still care about this city, and you deserve a meaningful say in who governs you. Even George Washington never joined a political party and warned about excessive partisanship. So if George Washington moved to Albany today, we'd basically have to tell him, thank you for founding the country, Mr. President, but you're sitting this primary out. And one of the things I valued most about our steering committee is that we all came from different backgrounds and political backgrounds. We disagree on things, and sometimes pretty strongly, but we respect each other. We listen to each other, and this process has created some of the most meaningful conversations I've had with people I don't always agree with, and that's okay. That's what democracy should be. So why wouldn't we want Albany residents in that conversation? Why wouldn't we want everyone at the table? One election, every voter, every voice. That's the democracy Albany deserves.
Thank you.
Michelle Sweeney.
Good evening. My name is Michelle Sweeney. I live in the 2nd Ward on Morton Avenue, across from the park and the pothole. My family and I have been here in Albany for almost 17 years. We moved here when my son was a baby, and he is about to start his senior year of high school. I am a public school high school teacher. I'm speaking here tonight to support the ranked choice Albany proposal. I've never spoken here before, and I'm a little nervous, so please bear with me. But I think this is important, and that's why I'm here. I specifically wanted to provide some perspective as a voter who doesn't belong to a political party. I very much value my right to vote and participate in our government and our democracy. However, as an unaffiliated voter in New York, as you all know, I cannot fully participate in that process. I don't have the opportunity to weigh the nuances of multiple candidates against each other who might be very similar. I, along with all the other Albany voters who cannot vote in the primaries, are left with the big bucket choices that others have already made. It can feel disenfranchising to think the election has already been decided before you step into the voting booth. I would imagine that there are independent voters out there, probably a lot of them, who don't vote because they feel like their vote doesn't matter. I do vote because I think it's important to not just have my right to vote, but to exercise that right. Why not let all the voters weigh in and weigh those candidates against each other? Why not give everybody that opportunity? Statistically, from what I've read and from what it seems, that a single ranked choice election would be more representative of the choice of the people, all the people. I have considered registering for a party so that I could participate in the primaries, but it doesn't sit right with me that I should have to compromise the choice that I consciously made to not belong to a political party. I have the freedom to make that choice, and it aligns with my beliefs. I want to make it clear that I am not neutral or nonchalant about who I support politically or about voting. I have strong philosophies, and I do a lot of research on candidates. I take a lot of aspects and perspective into consideration. I would like to see a voting system where all voters have the opportunity to weigh the nuances of candidates and make that choice. Please put this on the proposal on the ballot and let the voters of Albany decide. Thank you.
Thank you.
Deborah Fagans. Okay, thank you. Then that was our
Okay,
last speaker.
with that, our public comment period is closed. Next area is comments from members. Any members have comments to the public commenters? Mr. Flynn.
I just want to let the public know for RCV that there's going to be a meeting September 9th on the petition and my legislation, just for the record. Thank you.
A meeting on?
The RCV petition and my legislation at the same time.
Okay, all right, then a comment to close. Next presentation of petitions.
If I could just quickly, I just wanted to note that the petitions were turned in to the city clerk, who had her own specific process to go through and verify the signatures. The council is not getting the petition officially to go through our process until tonight. So this is not to say that you might not feel frustrated about the time that we take or don't take, but we have not had the actual petition before tonight in our process. Tonight is coming into our process. So I just wanted to clarify that because actually verifying signatures was something that took a lot from the clerk, and it needed to have its own process. Those two processes should not be conflated. Thank you.
Okay, and with that being said, for presentation of petitions, we're acknowledging receipt of the Ranked Choice Voting Albany Inc. Petition. Ms. Farrell.
I don't know that I actually say any words. Do I say words?
Maybe the referral.
Well, first we have to have our clerk say words, and then I refer them, I believe.
Okay. All right, so pursuant to New York State Municipal Home Rule Law, Section 24 and 37, I present to the Common Council of the City of Albany a petition titled Petition for a Single Unified Election and ranked choice voting in the City of Albany. The Office of the City Clerk has certified that this petition contains 2,624 valid signatures, an amount in excess of 2,402 signatures necessary for the Common Council's consideration.
Thank you. Ms. Farrell?
Thank you, Mr. President. That petition will go to the Law Committee.
Thank you. Okay. Moving right along, reports of standing, approval of minutes from previous meeting. Ms. Farrell?
Thank you, Mr. President. We have the
August 3rd.
August 3rd minutes for our approval this evening.
Thank you.
Second.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Next, reports of standing committees. Ms. Keegan.
Thank you, Mr. President. While I was not actually physically present, I did join in spirit from New Jersey. The Finance Committee met on August 12th to discuss Resolution 817226R and 868126R. 868126R was passed out of committee with a positive recommendation and will be voted on this evening. And 817226R, which has been removed from our agenda, was passed through the committee with no recommendation.
Thank you.
I believe that's all we discussed. So we are meeting again on Wednesday, where we will be taking up Resolution 918226R and also discussing the mid-year fiscal report that was issued on Saturday.
Thank you. Mr. Flynn.
Thank you, Mr. President. The General Service Committee met tonight to discuss Ordinance 127126R by Councilmember Powell on pesticides, and that came out with a favorable recommendation. We also discussed Resolution 848126R by Councilmember Robinson. But we had to amend it to change it from Henry Johnson Boulevard to Livingston Ave. That's one I will carry. And Resolution 858126R, which will be carried by Councilmember Johnson tonight. They all came out with favorable recommendations. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Flynn. Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. Public Safety Committee met last week, and we went over the approval of a member for the CPRB, and we also started discussion on Mark Robinson's legislation on the youth safety night.
Thank you, Mr. Hoey. Further? Seeing none. Moving on to consideration of local laws. Ms. Keegan.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to notice Local Law Q of 2026 and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A local law amending Chapter 333 Taxation of the Code of the City of Albany by adding repealing the business investment exemptions and the Industrial and Commercial Incentive Board and the Residential Commercial Urban Expansion.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Local Law Q will go to the Finance Committee.
Okay. Thank you. Next, Mr. Anani.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice local law R of 2026 and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A local law amending Part 4 Residential Occupancy Permit and Rental Dwelling Registry of Chapter 231 Housing of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to registration of rental dwellings required and primary and secondary indicators establishing a rebuttal. What is a
rebuttable?
Okay, the rebuttal of presumption that a building is being used for a rental dwelling.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Local Law R will go to the Housing Committee.
Thank you. Okay, next, Mr. Hoey.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Local Law P of 2026 and ask for its passage via roll call vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please read the law.
a local law amending Part 1, Department of Police, and Part 3, Departments of Public Safety of Chapter 42, Boards and Commission of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to the establishment of police disciplinary procedures and creation of a public safety officer.
Thank you. Discussion, Mr. Hoey.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. This has been discussed at length at Public Safety meeting and passed out unanimously. This is legislation to get rid of some of the vagueness in the original legislation that passed in 2022. So I do hope my colleagues will support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none. Clerk, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Anani. Valorem.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Brody.
Yes.
Farrell.
Yes.
Flynn.
Yes.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes.
Keegan.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell.
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The motion passes. Okay, Ms. Powell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice ordinance 127126 and ask for it to be read and for its passage.
Okay, just pause for a second. We're closing out.
The rest of the local laws
Sorry
are
about
held.
that. That's my apology. I skipped it. So with that, Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance amending Chapter 259 pesticides of the Code of the City of Albany in relation to allowing the use of pesticides on city property by city employees.
Okay, discussion. Ms. Powell.
Sure, I'm getting questions about whether or not this was amended. The legislative memo was amended, and there was language added to that memo to talk about having DGS, having DGS ensure that the methods used are the safest and at the most specific timeliness of that application for safety. I'm not sure, do we need an amendment for that?
We do not need an amendment to that. The ordinance remains in the same form it was when it was introduced. The only thing that was changed was the supporting memorandum.
Thank you. Sorry, that kind of threw me for a loop. Okay. So again, as I spoke at Caucus, this is ordinance that was requested by DGS. This is really about the application of pesticides essentially in parks that DGS maintains on certain ball fields. Right now, there is not a pesticide application that can be done by the city. There is some information from DGS that some groups that maintain the parks may be using different chemicals to maintain their fields. So for that reason, DGS felt that it would be better to go forward to allow the exemption for them to apply pesticides on ball fields within city parks. If they do it, it will be done by a licensed DEC professional by state regulated guidelines. There are notifications and postings that are required. They will also be doing it at with the safest product possible, depending on issues with the fields, certain infestations and so on and so forth, and at a timely time of year where there won't be so much play on the field, so that it will create the safest environment for those who are playing on the field as possible. So it's really about taking over that particular process so that the city can ensure that it is done in the safest manner possible.
Thank you, Ms. Powell. Further discussion, questions? Okay. Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Anani.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Valorem.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Brody.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell.
No.
Flynn.
Yes, co-sponsor.
Hoey.
Yes.
Johnson.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Keegan.
Yes.
Powell.
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
10 in the affirmative,
Okay, the
1 no.
motion passes. Ms. Farrell on ordinances?
The rest of the ordinances are held.
Thank you. Mr. Ballerin?
Thank you, Mr. President. I ask that resolution 89-82-26R be introduced and move forward for a vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please read the resolution.
A resolution of the Common Council in honor of Albany Latin Fest 2026.
Mr. Ballerin, discussion?
Yes, thank you, Mr. President. I just want to thank my members for supporting this resolution. I also want to thank the organizers of Latin Fest for over 20 years of making Albany a great place to celebrate the Latino community, the food, the music, the dancing, and more important, the contribution that the Latino community brings to the Capital District and to our state. So I look forward to celebrating again this Saturday at the Latin Fest in Washington Park. Thank you again.
Thank you. Further, Mr.
I just want to give a shout out to my good friend Nikki Jimenez for all the work she does for the Capital District Latina group. She's been there for years and she does a great job. Thank you.
Further? No? Are we all co-sponsors, right? Voice vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Okay, moving right along. Mr. Adams.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to notice Resolution 90.8226R, and access reading.
Thank you.
Intro.
Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council reappointing Jonathan Nix as a member of the Commission on Monuments and Public Arts.
Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolution 908226R will go to planning.
Okay. Next, we skip down to Mr. Johnson on behalf of, for Mr. Robinson.
Nope, it's mine.
91?
Yep. I would like to notice Resolution 918226R and ask for its introduction.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council reappointing Judy L. Duchette as a member of the Board of Assessment Review.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. Resolution 918226R will go to the Finance Committee.
Thank you. Okay, next on to 84, Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice 84.81.26R, and I ask for his introduction and voice vote.
Point of clarification, I think that's the Robinson one.
I'm sorry?
Yeah, I know.
We're
84 is the
amended,
one
right?
by Councilmember Robinson that I was going to amend.
I believe Councilmember Flynn is particularly because it's being amended. So I believe Councilmember Flynn is doing this one and Councilmember Johnson is doing the one on
85.
behalf of Councilmember Lumpkin.
That is correct.
Oh, okay, I got
85.
you. I got you. Okay, so, Mr.
Thank you, Mr. President. I noticed 848126R, and as for a roll call vote, they're on as amended.
Thank you.
A resolution of the Common Council honoring the life and legacy of Nathaniel Pulliam and renaming a portion of Livingston Ave in his honor.
Okay, everyone co-sponsors on this? Yeah?
Mr. Johnson wants to speak.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Discussion. Mr. Johnson for discussion.
Thank you. I just want to say, I grew up with Mr. Pulliam's brother as like an uncle. I grew up in his house. And later on in life, I had the pleasure of really just bumping into Mr. Pulliam in Stewart's shop. And he's, always there with the early morning crew. But if you drove up 2nd Street, he was a permanent fixture on his porch. And he just was a presence and, just someone that made a lot of people feel safe in the neighborhood, and his presence is going to be gone. And again, it's an honor to be able to be a part of this type of recognition.
So he's finished with that. We didn't vote on the amendment, we just said we wanted to amend it. All in favor of?
So we technically should have voted on the as amended, right? Or no?
Right, first we just need a motion to adopt that amendment to be voted on by the full
I'd like to make a motion to adopt the amendment.
Second.
Aye.
Aye.
You want to say anything, Mr. Flynn?
Nope.
Any further discussion?
I'm all good.
So right now, will you please call the roll?
Adams,
Yes.
Anani, Valorant,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Brody,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn,
Yes.
Hoey,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Keegan,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
Okay, the motion passed. On to 85, which Mr. Johnson or Mr. Lincoln.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 85.81.26R and ask for its introduction and voice vote.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution.
A resolution of the Common Council honoring the lives and legacies of George and Helen Torian and renaming a portion of Tinbrook Place in their honor.
Thank you, Mr. President. Again, tonight is a pleasure to be here as a former student of Miss Torian, and you know, her voice just rings in my head, and I'm excited that she's being recognized in this manner tonight. And as I said earlier, she not only retired from the Albany City School District, but she provided auto insurance for many people in the neighborhood, and I thought that was cool that our teacher was providing drivers auto insurance. So I'm pleased to be here to speak on behalf of many that respected the effort that she gave the city. And again, thank you for being a part of this.
Okay, thank you. Further discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams,
Yes, co-sponsor.
Anani, Valorant,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Brody,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Farrell,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Flynn,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Hoey,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Johnson,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Keegan,
Yes.
Powell,
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes.
11 in the affirmative.
The motion passes. And just for members, we're working on October 5th or 6th day for the event for that. So just to give you a heads up ahead of time so you can plan for it. So it's 5th or 6th. So trying to nail that down with Mr. Lumpkin. Next, Ms. Farrell.
Thank you, Mr. President. I notice Resolution 868126R and ask for its passage.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
A resolution of the Common Council approving a change in the authorized positions included in the 2026 city budget, which will affect a salary rate or salary total. Common Council.
Thank you. Discussion. Ms. Farrell.
Just to reiterate what I've said several times, this is just a title change for our two positions that had junior in the title. So the position that we will be filling will be filled as a legislative aide. And we will also finally be able to get our title change for our amazing Carly Johnson, who is now officially a legislative analyst after we pass this. And it does not have a budget impact. It is just a title change, but as a title change, it means that we need to, it switches what it is in the official budget and in the lines. So it is just for title, but it does overall go through the process of saying that it hits the budget, although it does not. So that is everything.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
I apologize, policy analyst. I said the wrong title. So we'll have a Carly Johnson policy analyst officially.
Thank you. Further Discussion, seeing none. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Adams,
Yes.
Anani, Valorant,
Yes.
Brody,
Yes.
Farrell,
Yes.
Flynn,
Yes.
Hoey,
Yes.
Johnson,
Yes.
Keegan,
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
Powell,
Yes.
Zamer.
Yes, co-sponsor, please.
11 in the affirmative.
Motion passes. Okay, so that is the end of regular legislation.
The rest of the resolutions are held.
Thank you. Okay, so now we move into miscellaneous and unfinished business.
I just quickly, Mr. Wenner has something to say, but I did also want to say, I know that we discussed this at the, at Caucus, but just to note again that on Saturday, August 29th, from 2 to 6 at Fiden's Brewing Company is the benefit for our two colleagues in fire and DGS that were impacted by the fire. So if you can go and share that with your networks, that would be appreciated.
Thank you, Ms. Farrell.
It's been said about 1,000 times today, but I figure one more can't hurt. I just wanted to offer a quick congratulations to Judge Kurt Haas, who was sworn in this afternoon as the new Albany City Court Judge, Judge John Riley Sr., who's recently retired, creating that vacancy, and also just the mayor's office and the mayor herself for the legwork that went into that search and getting it across the finish line.
Thank you. With that, I'll motion to adjourn. All in favor? Aye. Meeting adjourned.